When we're talking about Color War, you know, Color War is the biggest program that we have at camp.
Color War is, in some ways, like the apex of what we're trying to do at camp in general.
There's nothing that is similar to Color War.
It's the first thing you think about, I think, when you talk about the job of being program director, is like you have to figure out how to put this together. Not by yourself, of course, but you're sort of spearheading this whole thing, and it's honestly terrifying.
We started planning Color War almost a month before the program.
It's complicated, you know, budgetarily, it's complicated logistically. You just really want people to like it, I think.
There are moments where everybody is kind of stuck. You know, everybody's at that point where it's like, we want to do this, and it would look so cool, and it would work perfect. We just have no idea how to do it. And then that's when, you know, everything kind of like set in. That like, oh Lord, like, it's starting.
It's funny because I think growing up here, there's this thought of like Color War is this singular thing that happens at our camp. Nobody else knows about it or does it or whatever. And as I've gotten older, I realized like other people do programs where they split their camps into and, you know, go crazy or whatever. But I certainly don't think I've met someone from another camp who cares as much about Color War as we do at this camp.
At other camps, yeah, other camps do similar programs to this. Other camps do Color Wars and stuff. But to what I've learned from other camps and to what I've seen at other places, nothing compares to how we create it, how we go about it, and how we actually complete it.
We put kids through this gauntlet of events and little sleep and outside all day, and it's hot, and kids are giving it everything they got, and they're painting their face, and they're dancing and biking and cooking and sprinting and like thinking, you know, and then they're absolutely exhausted. And I think that like the experience that hopefully gives kids is, by the time they finish it, is to be able to reflect on who they were at the beginning and what they accomplished in 2 days, and realize about themselves that if they really care about something and buy in and dig deeper, that they have more to give than perhaps they thought. The thing that I wanted to bring back most to Color War programming was novelty, by which I mean the feeling of this is like a special thing that is new and not routine.
We all have these crazy ideas in our head, and most of the time, even when they're insane, we can still make them happen with a little bit of magic and some time. I don't know, the Prophets is just like, it's like, you know, this is cliche, but it's like, it's where dreams come true. The programming office, as we call the Prophets, you know, we fulfill the prophecy up there.
I think part of selecting the committee is being able to identify a little before the midpoint in the summer, who is it that doing Color War is going to get them through the summer, and who is it that doing Color War is just going to completely burn them out.
The commitment is more of a commitment than almost anything that I've been a part of. Like actually, it's like a second job.
You want people who are the type of people who are good at each event to be working in the committee.
You know, you have to be able to really be creative. There are people who think of ideas for this program throughout the year at all times. They know the very last limit that they can push it to, and they always seem to push it to the last limit.
You want like a variety of age and experience, so I think it's important to have first-year staff who are still have their like camper experience like in close memory recall and can think about the more recent feeling of being a camper participant in Color War. And you want people who have been through the rodeo several times who can help shepherd the process.
Everybody knows how far they can be pushed and how far they can work before they need to stop. So everybody's sitting there, brain is on fire from thinking, and you're just like, I need to like put my head like in the lake or something.
That was really my thought in everything, was trying to put together the best group of people to do it based on their energy. And then honestly, like at the end of the day, like they just have to be ballers.
For the captain's break, we had an idea and we just ran with it. So none of the captains or either of the generals knew what team they were on, who was on their team, what color, nothing like that. We had them come into the dining hall through the main entrance. They sat down at a table and then we blindfolded them all. We then walked them to the Mohawk wing of the dining hall. We had red cupcakes and we had blue cupcakes. They still had their blindfolds on, and then on the count of 3,
3, 2, 1, smash it.
They put their heads down on the cupcakes, and then they looked up, they took their blindfolds off, saw the color, and, you know, immediately started freaking out.
I was really excited to be chosen. I was really grateful for this opportunity. It's something that I've always wanted to do ever since I was in Cayuga.
This side is so much better.
I think I always sort of had a feeling that like, oh, maybe I'd be a captain. I would have been fine either way.
I took my cupcake and I basically just like rubbed it all over my eye. I thought it was like war paint or something, but it ended up hurting.
Yeah, after they cleaned up, sat back down, broke up into their teams, and then they decided who was going to do what pillar.
It was really cool being able to do signatures too, because I did programming for signatures last year. So I had a little bit of perspective about how they worked. You're really trying to focus more on how can I use people on my team to get the best possible result. I don't know, we had a squad.
There were a lot of people on the team who I was really close with. There were a lot of people who I didn't even know that well. So I was really excited for just an opportunity to get closer with these people.
But there's a huge difference between being a general and being a captain. Because a general, you're kind of like the overarching figure. You know, you're one of the faces of the team.
I knew that day one of the summer, Isabel and Sarah have the unique, I think, positions of being completely capable, deserving, and also being the type of people who would succeed in a general role. You know, they can encourage other people, like hype them up, speaking in front of the team. They can work well with staff one-on-one. They can shepherd captains through harder things.
Being a general, everyone relies on you, you know? The captains are going to come to you and ask you all these questions. As a general, you need to be ready to answer.
You know, she's super supportive. I mean, she won the award for a reason. She lifts up all the staff, all the campers. She brings so much energy. She really cares for each individual person.
If all the other captains disappeared, Sarah could have done the entire thing herself.
They are two of the most integral staff at camp. So for me, it wasn't even a question.
One of the most important parts of Color War is the Tusk break. And this is so important because Tusk is they're the leaders of the program. They are, you know, they're the oldest people at camp. Younger campers look up to them, just how when they were younger that they look up to their Tusk campers. It's a full circle moment.
Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go. Hey, that storm was crazy, bro.
The Tusk break is huge. It is like one of the most important parts of these senior campers' summers, because they realize that this is happening, it's time for Color War, and then no matter what the break is, if it's pennies on beds, if it's someone hiding behind a screen, if there's smoke bombs going off, everybody's hyped. Everybody goes insane. Half the time, we have to take the senior campers out of camp for the tusk break because it gets so loud that they would be screaming, and then all of camp would hear them.
Who's gonna take it home? We're gonna win. Who's gonna take it home?
It's kind of like the buy-in. What we call the buy-in is how you really get into the program, how you feed into the program. Starts with that break, and it starts with the tusk campers, you know, getting excited, finding out their teams, and just going crazy.
I'm excited to lead the camp. I'm excited to compete against Max Weinreeb. I think it's going to be some great competition.
It's got to be loud, got to be energetic. The kids will do what you do. I mean,
The energy is really the biggest thing.
Yeah.
In turn, after we break it to them, they help us break it to the rest of camp, which is also insane.
The first real conversation I remember having about the break was Abe just talking about how special it is when Color War is just a surprise. Like, you're just like, this is happening and it's Color War. And I think I totally agree with that. Like, I think sometimes the theatrics are exciting and amazing, but the feeling of the pit in your stomach where you're like, wait, is it Color War right now? Oh my God, it's actually happening. Like, it's right now. That is a special feeling that's sometimes worth having a little bit more simplicity, or just doing away with the theatrics that can sort of get like found out. The group who was working on the break really wanted to start Color War off with like this feeling of chaos. Not in a bad way, but chaos of like, this is gonna sort of turn things upside down. And we're setting the tone with the program from the beginning about like how exciting and different and bizarre this couple days is gonna be.
Being a senior camper and breaking the biggest program that we do every summer to the whole camp, it's one of those moments where you do it and then you just like feel goosebumps. You're like, we really just did that. As a camper, when you're out in Tusk, you see this happening. You see all these Tusk kids. You know, if you're in Cayuga or Onondaga, you see your big breaking this huge program, and you literally are like jumping with excitement, and you just don't know what to do.
What I really wanted to do is get my Tusk campers really, really excited, because Color War starts with the break. The campers don't even know it yet, but if their team is really excited, they're gonna be more energetic, they're gonna be better in the first signature.
So there were 7 signatures throughout the program, and planning for all of them in advance was just not possible with the amount of time. So kind of took them one at a time, planned each one about 24 hours in advance.
I don't think we've ever used the rock wall in a signature before. And when we were thinking about the signature, it was one of those moments where that is so cool. Can we make it happen?
That first signature explanation, I just hit it right on the money. Like, everyone knew what was going on. They knew their role. They might not have known the intricate strategy and how we were gonna win it, but they knew what they were doing, they knew what was going on, and they were just ready. Like, the kids were ready to win this. The second the signature started, you can just see me jumping up and down with pure excitement as Nat Gale just flies up the rock wall. Watching Charlie at the end just climb up the rock wall and slap Eli Cannell in the hand, the rock wall illuminated in blue, and just knowing that we had just like won the first signature, just like going into the program, so much energy, was just such a great feeling to see my plan just work out for once.
It was probably one of the coolest videos camp has ever seen. People on that rock wall, you know, campers climbing up as fast as they can, the bags with the pennies coming down the rock wall. You know, it's all just insane.
After everyone went back to the villages, you basically sit down and you get to planning, and that's all you can do.
That first night, to me, is always a great opportunity because you have all the energy of color war, but you don't have the exhaustion.
It is so special because you are like developing the next couple days for your team.
I started reading through all the signatures and kind of just like formulating a base plan because I knew it's color war, there's going to be a lot of changes, I needed to be ready for anything.
I'm really grateful that my brother was on my team. Yeah, no, he's super smart and super glad to have him on my side, and we worked really well together, scheming up some plans for the signatures, and yeah, very grateful to have him on my side.
For me at least, that night like epitomizes to me the staff buy-in that we're trying to cultivate. If you're in there, you'll see captains and generals working together and saying, how are we going to make this the most exciting, or what's your idea for the, you know, this show, and what's this lighting arrangement that you're using, and what ideas do you have for this idea that we're trying to do, and you know, black teams pitching in, and they're saying, oh, maybe you guys should head in this direction or this direction or whatever.
I really leaned on the other staff to kind of help me pull together this entire program and get all of these campers where they could thrive and succeed and have the most fun. So that first night in the dining hall was very much a let's get organized, let's get everything written down, and just a base plan. It doesn't need to be final, it doesn't need to have all the little intricate details, but let me figure out what's going on and collect all my thoughts so I can really just lock in these next few days and get everything done.
It's almost like the last stage of the color war planning process where everything is laid out, the infrastructure is in place, and now like the staff is doing it, you know, planning it, putting it together, and like making it real.
Despite losing the first one, you know, we're still feeling really good, still super pumped, ready to get into the next day. We got a squad. I'm not concerned.
Young Metro, don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. Beautiful morning, yeah, the sun in my morning, babe. Nothing in the water. Beautiful morning, yeah, the sun in my morning, babe. Nothing in the water. I just wanna feel.
That first morning, everyone's in line doing their own thing. I was off to the side, fully planning out that signature.
It's a lot of stress, but it's a fun stress, and you're looking forward to getting everything done. It's really a non-stop cycle of plan, execute, plan, execute.
We had the SAT, which was just such an interesting concept. Making like small children answer SAT questions to me was just so funny, where I was like, let's see how much fun we can have with this and still win.
We'll start on the sound of the air horn.
So I knew at the end of the day, the SAT questions didn't really matter.
They gave us about like 100 something questions, and you know, each one of them is A through D, so if you guess the same letter for each one, you get a 25% chance of getting it right. There's all the materials we need right there.
Once we got that key off the fence, I just knew it was over because the rest of it was just finding puzzle pieces, and these campers wanted to win. They wanted to run. They sprinted all over camp to collect all the pieces, and they were just so into it, so enthusiastic. We had the rest of the blue team just cheering them on, and everyone knew like that was our signature, and it was so much fun. It was all so new and fresh to me, and so I was really happy when our campers got into it, were enthusiastic, and then pulled it together to win.
You know, it's okay. We're still feeling good, you know. There's so much more of the program left to go. I'm not worried. We still got this.
I think breakouts are sort of the lower energy part of the program, and they're important because they let people excel in a variety of different skills. The breakouts idea, it's so brilliant because I think it retained like the goals of breakout events, which are to create these smaller little niche things where people can excel in their little niche or whatever, but to create that feeling where it's building and building and building and building and building. You know that as you're participating, each thing you're doing is worth more points. It's with a bigger group of people until it finally gets to the end. The hope was at least that by the time you get to the end, you're not wearily doing the last round of breakouts. You are like locked in, excited, like this is breakouts.
Aqua, Dessa, Hexus.
Are you guys ready?
Once the logs stopped being collected, we had our tusk campers go and build fires. They were as good as they could have been with the materials we had. The biggest issue was we just didn't have enough logs. It was kind of a hopeless struggle to the point where Red team had all 4 fires burnt, and we just had nothing. When we started the chain link, the red team didn't even have their canoe in. I knew that if we get the canoe to shore before the red team started their puzzle, we would win.
Going into it, I naively thought that this was some sort of puzzle that we could just figure out on the fly.
Once we had those boxes on the platform, I knew it was over. And it was such a good feeling to see this like impossible win come to fruition, where it was truly a come from behind victory. Like at one point, all the campers were dejected, all hope was lost, and then to come back from that was just such a good feeling where we were just ready, we were good to go, we had 3 signatures in a row, and we're just so excited.
I should have realized that the answer was right there the whole time, and you know, that's on me, and I take full responsibility for that. It was really bad. Felt pretty dejected after that one. I couldn't really look my team in the eye because I felt like I really let everyone down, and I didn't want to really be seen by anyone. I kind of just chilled under the tree at the waterfront away from everyone for a little bit just to recompose myself, you know. Yeah, the only thing you can do in that situation is just pick your head up and keep going. So that's what we did.
Yep, it's happening. It's happening right now. Hey, it starts tonight. It starts right here. And we're just gonna keep going.
Splattership will start at the sound of the air horn.
Bringing the golf ball up the hill was something that we just excelled at. Our campers were all so focused together. They worked really well together to get that golf ball all the way up the hill as fast as they could.
We went into the paint splattering part with the equal number of paint buckets. So it was really just on the dust campers to go out there and just go crazy.
Yes! Let's go.
We didn't really brief them on any strategy beforehand, besides go ham, and that's what they did.
You didn't actually know who won it until some computer program did it. You also knew the computer program wasn't biased, so I was so fine with leaving it in the eyes of some random computer.
Winner of Splattership, Color War 16, end of day 1, is red. It's the beginning. His first signature. It's the beginning. All day tomorrow.
Yeah, we're feeling better. You know, we really needed that win at the end. It was a good feeling to finally win one, and you know, we just had to ride that momentum all the way through.
Me and Talia had actually agreed that next morning that we were both gonna wake up at 7 in the morning and like just get going.
Yeah, well, we're always tired, you know. It's late nights, it's early mornings, but you push through it and you get your energy from the people around you.
There's so much that needs to get done. There's so much that's not prepared. We're just gonna get it all done as soon as we can so we can kind of relax throughout the day.
Look at each other, okay? This is your village.
So this one had a lot of math, and I like math.
The song will start on the sound of the air horn.
I was really confident with the strategy going into it. So basically you're given 8 numbers and you have to either add or subtract all of them to get a combination for a lock. And you didn't know which numbers you need to add and which ones you need to subtract.
When I was thinking about the sum, I knew there was gonna be a bottleneck. I never thought it was gonna be the staff standing on 1 foot and the campers throwing darts at a balloon.
You can tell that there were either 70 or 56 possible combinations. So all we had to do was test out every single possible combination and we could get it pretty quickly.
Okay, so everyone, you're communicating with Lucia.
That signature, I just did not have a strategy for. We sat there thinking, how are we gonna do this equation stuff? And just kept drawing blanks.
We got really lucky in that the second combination that we tried ended up being the correct one.
It was one of those things where both teams knew we were just gonna have to strategically brute force it.
All the red team tusk campers were really good at luminaries. I don't think they practiced beforehand, they just had the natural talent. JMS, I think, was a beast at the luminaries.
I think our team was really proud of ourselves. We might not have won that signature, but everyone definitely gave it their all, tried really hard, and I think had a lot of fun.
Let's go Red! 2 in a row, kind of got our confidence back. We knew we could carry this all the way through.
There was never a point with the signatures where I was starting to feel the pressure because I knew I could lean on the rest of my team. I knew we had great art, I knew we had a killer show, and I knew that we were doing great in the breakouts.
Structuring Clash so that you have to do more than just being athletic well, I think makes it a more genuine and challenging competition. In terms of what the goals are of Color War, to get people holistically bought in to the program, I think that for plenty of people that means like running your heart out in speedball and basketball and, you know, doing whatever in water polo. For a lot of people that's like going crazy at the pit or like trying to make like a really good sound argument about whatever thing. In the times that I got to witness those Clash rounds, people were locked in, taking it seriously, pushing themselves in more ways than just athletic. Having those 4 different Clash rounds, a intellectual one, a sort of skill building, like almost talent based one, like cooking. That's also a sacred part of Camp Seneca Lake. and then, you know, a more like fine motor skills athletic one, and just like a straight up athletic one. And the goal was really to cultivate the buy-in to the program by accessing people in the different things that they're good at. And also similarly, recognizing that this is teen camp, and like debates with younger kids, they would have been funny, but they would have been dumb, you know? And with the older kids, like, they were serious and thinking about it and really trying to make good, reasoned arguments. Similar with the pit cooking, all that stuff, like, the food was banging, you know? And it also, that requires creativity and planning, and you need to know how to build a fire and cut whatever and do whatever. So I think like the variety in the class rounds was really intended to cultivate buy-in by engaging everybody in the things that they're good at. Like sort of helping Color War meet them instead of making them meet Color War.
Materials are allocated per fire, not per round. Fire races are such an unpredictable thing that anyone could win, that our goal with this signature was really to put people where we knew they could succeed, but also with a group of people where they would have a lot of fun. We had so many fire building materials where I knew there was no chance we would ever run out, so I was fully focused on the fire race.
For the 7 fire teams, our strategy is for each of those teams, we assigned one fire captain, and basically they were in charge of their group. And then the 8th team, we said to them, you are our best capture the flag players, we need you out in the field.
One of the things I really wanted to do was put together a group that was fully Israeli so they could all speak in Hebrew.
One of the groups where Lotem was the captain, we loaded with almost all Israeli staff and campers, and they killed it.
We had a lot of really great fires that were just slightly outperformed by the red team, which was a little sad to see because these people were working really hard on the fires.
Now we're tied. Now we're feeling good. Now we're feeling really good.
After Pyro, I was sitting in the M field just watching everyone clean up by myself, kind of freaking out because we had won the first 3 signatures and now we had just lost 3 in a row. So I kind of took a few minutes for myself, just refocus, re-energize, and just get right back into it for this final signature.
You know, the last breakout round was before shower hour on the last day, which is traditionally like a tough downtime. That's when people are like really hitting their slump. And it was intense. Like, it was really exciting. I felt like we were able to achieve that sort of feeling of having people be in some ways more locked in at the end than they were at the beginning, which is hard because the energy goes, you know, the other way. I think like both the show and the LTP is, in terms of what they mean to the program, is they show this whole other aspect that's sort of been happening in the background of Color War, but that the majority of people at camp don't realize is happening, or they're not thinking about it or whatever because they're so consumed by everything else that's going on. The basketball courts are, I mean, they fit with the motif, but they're also like prime real estate. Like they are right smack in the middle of the general swim area. They are a central hub of so many things that we do at camp. We wanted the LTP to be a constant reminder of the beauty and work of Color War.
There was so much between me and my brother especially that transcended Color War when we were talking about the LTP. It was just so cool to get to see him make this incredible artwork where I knew like he was having fun, excelling, and making something that just looked insanely cool. So I was really, really proud to see him just like finally get to do his thing and shine, and like all of camp knew it.
Stepping onto the basketball court and being like, there is a amazing mural here that wasn't here 40 hours ago. And these people just decided to do it. My jaw dropped, like it was art.
Throughout the program, you just walk over to the basketball court and you see a little progress, like, oh, that looks pretty good. And then you walk over next time, it's like, oh, whoa. And then you walk over again, like.
Both the red and the blue team doing like monster kind of things, like just plays off itself so well. And I think these two murals are symmetrical, you know, in their placement, but they are also sort of thematically symmetrical. And that wasn't planned for at all. That's just luck. And the reveal of the LTP and the show are part of creating this wonder at the end of Color War of look at what we've accomplished. The most special shows, like the ones that live on in memory, are not ones that are like incredibly high-tech or complicated, I guess, but they're ones where the staff create it so that campers can like most purely and perfectly channel their talents. That's when the show is most special, when like the staff are able to set up this infrastructure for these crazy talented kids we have at camp to make everyone crack up or make everyone cry because of the song they're singing or make everyone sort of gasp with amazement at dancing or music or whatever it is. So I think like the thought with the show was really how do we isolate and highlight camper talent.
Rest assured, we will dominate.
Red Show was a show that couldn't have been done in any other context, in any other environment. It was specifically tailored to that environment to utilize the 3D space, and it was really cool to see.
Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, but I will try to fix you. Yeah!
That little schmuck. Anyway, the sun even came out. I started reading the Torah, and I just felt like I could be myself. Remember your bloodline. You'll always bleed blue. And I can't lie, I'm feeling sad. What am I supposed to do?
Bleeding blue.
One of my favorite things about the final signature was just starting off with the cake eating contest. That was such a cool concept to me that I had never thought about. And Carter Sloan, the second he heard about that, that was on his mind all of Color War. How am I gonna eat this cake? How can I do it as fast as possible? And that was just like his entire mentality. Like the rest of Color War was a side quest. His main goal was just to eat this cake.
16 candles will start at the sound of the air horn.
Seeing him just demolish his cake and shove so much food down his mouth, it was a little bit disgusting, but it was really, really cool to see.
Carter is a machine. It is crazy. That was scary, man. He's not human. We had 3 people in there tag teaming and they still could not even come close.
The strategy with the final signature was to hide the boxes as far away from the Thunderdome and make them a little bit hard for the campers to find, but still easy enough where the main slowdown was them running and not the searching. Once all the balloons were blown up and we switched sides, people just went ham. They just started popping balloons. They were all gone so fast. That last part was so hectic, crazy, chaotic, and cool.
You know, the air horn blew, the program ended. I threw my notebook up in the air as high as I could. It was like a victory type thing. It was pretty sick. I probably got like 20, 30 feet on that thing. Just whoop. Glad I didn't hit a camper. Once that air horn blew for that final signature, it basically felt like we won the program. Not because we actually won the program, but it was the same emotion. It was the same amount of joy, because at that point, it didn't matter if we won or we lost, because we had put our all into it, and no matter the result, I would have been satisfied, because we gave it our all, and can't really ask for much more than that.
We get to the basketball court, everyone's really nervous. I'm sitting there with my captains. They are all freaking out. I think I'm the calmest one there.
You know, it's pitch black. We got our arms around the other captains. And, you know, at this point, it could go either way. And obviously you want to win. You know, you put your all towards something and you want to see the payoff, but...
The winner of Color War 16 is...
I thought I was all screamed out. I thought I was done, you know. I thought it was gonna be more like a go around, you know, give your hugs. But I guess I had one more in me. When you win, it's all hugs, you know? You gotta find everyone that made an impact on you and the team, and you tell them how much you appreciate them.
It wasn't the outcome we wanted, but it was so incredible just to see all of Blue Team hugging each other, congratulating each other, hugging the Red Team. Let's go! 3 years! The amount of growth I saw from all the staff and campers during this program was probably my favorite thing. I saw so many people make new friends, comfort new people, lift each other up instead of bringing each other down every time we lost something, where it was just incredible to see. These kids are all brilliant, they're all athletic, they're all so talented, and they know what they're good at. And so being able to see that come to fruition was just an insane experience.
I'm actually really proud of all of them. You know, in these moments, they really stepped up, and you could see the passion, the energy, but along with that, and I think just as important, if not more important, is that they did it with a sense of respect and healthy competition.
We love color work, and we love competing.
At the end of the day, no matter what happens, we're one Husker story.
Just seeing all the growth, all the love, seeing all the villages go back, do their cheers, become unified as one camp again, while also being on top of these masterpieces of art that are going to live on in camp history forever, was just so incredible to see.
I don't know, we make things special, and that's what's special about Color War, is that we make it exciting. You know, it's the people, it's the energy. It's unmatched by anything else. There was a moment in this year's Color War where I said to myself, like, I will never have this feeling ever again, which is kind of sad, but really special. Like, when will I ever jump for joy? Like, when will I ever have this much excitement and passion about something, like, outside of camp? I don't know if I ever will.
I am so proud of CSL and what we are and how we are bringing this camp all back together right now. It was great 2 days, and I'm ready to get back to camp, but I love Color War.
You can definitely get emotional in these moments.
Eventually, the way the world works is that you move on, and it's not fun, but sometimes you have to move on, and you just always know that there's a place for you down 200 Camp Road.
Last summer, I said it was my last, even though I knew I didn't really mean it when I said it. Ishai knew that too. I told him that I wasn't coming back. He's like, you're lying. Now that my camp journey is over, I hope that I can find the same passion and energy for something outside of camp. I don't know if it's possible. I'm gonna try, but I'm gonna carry it with me, all the memories and all the people, and who knows what the future holds, but camp will always still be there.
It's like you're saying goodbye to your family for, you know, X amount of time until you see them again, but you're saying goodbye to this place for a long time. And it's upsetting, but you know, what gets a lot of people through it is that thought of, oh, I'll just wait 10 months and then I'll be back here. Nothing to worry about. And then just like that, we're back like we never left.
Thank you, Camp Seneca, for everything. Thank you, Tuscarora 2023. You guys are all amazing. I'm so proud of you all. The amount of growth I saw this summer is amazing. The way you guys bonded together. Thank you all. Gonna carry this with me for the rest of my life, and to many more. Yeah.
till I